there, and welcome to episode 8 of Practice Your Positive Daily. We are hitting the positivity gym. We are getting swole on good vibes. We are performing fitness on our feelings. I'm so happy you're here. Today, we're talking about one of my favorite things, one of my favorite experiences that I've participated in, and that is amateur boxing. So, on my 24th birthday, I walked into Larry Holmes' gym in Easton, Pennsylvania. I know, I can picture it, right? It makes me chuckle. I walked in and said, "Hey, I'd like to be a competitive boxer. I need someone to train me." And I was very fortunate. I had wonderful, wonderful coaches, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, just amazing. They took a chance on me. It's happened a couple of times. One of those times where my spirit wrote a check that my body later had to cash. I wanted to show I was tough. I wanted to prove myself. I love boxing. And, it was bonkers. I was the only chick that was trained there competitively. We would end up sparring. This was in, Pennsylvania, but we would cross the border and go over to New Jersey. We would end up sparring at these like totally random places. One time we showed up at an apartment complex and there was like an empty apartment that had a small ring in it, and you're just like, okay, suit up, you're going in, and just crazy situations. I competed. I lost my first bout at 24. I took a short break. And then when I relocated to Philadelphia in my late 20s, before I finished my master's in nutrition education, I did go back and I did win the Philadelphia Golden Gloves. We'll talk more about that. But here's today. Today is amateur boxing for me trained my mind as much as it trained my body. It was the first time that I really consciously put the work in, that I chose a challenge, a self-selected, difficult situation to put myself in, to use my mind, my spirit, my attitude, my heart to get me through it. It really showed me the power of my mind because, as we move through our life, we know challenges are going to happen. We won't label them good or bad, but we know ish is going to happen. It's the suchness of life. No one escapes without these daily, weekly, monthly, lifely challenges. And so when we self-select a challenge, when we step up and say, I'm going to practice this and practice this perhaps in the fun way of sports, of fitness, of games, it shows us that we can overcome, we can be resilient, we can fail and we can try, we can practice, we can get better, we can surround ourselves with coaches and other knowledgeable players. It gives us these reps in a more comfortable manner than perhaps life would hand them to us. And so I'm very pleased, even though I chuckle thinking about it sometimes, I'm very pleased that some part of me chose this big challenge because early in my 20s, even though I didn't fully step into my positive mindset until years later, it planted the seed that when I choose a challenge and show up for myself, that then when life chooses challenges for me, I can show up in a similar way. I also want to share that life lesson 2 from amateur boxing is that rule number 1 in boxing is to protect yourself at all times. And so, hands up, chin down, keep moving forward, protect yourself at all times. And that's true of life. When we think about protecting ourselves in life, maybe we can think about shutting down or putting up a wall or having, these very rigid boundaries and keeping people out, not letting people hurt us. And I don't think that's the true nature of protecting ourselves. I like to think about it protecting our positive, protecting the good things. Each of us, we have those good things. I know you have those good things, whether it's your family or your dog or the sunshine. I know that you felt that. I know that you have them. And so protect those, hang on to those. Those are the things, those positives already in your life are going to be the things that carry you when your heart is tired, when your spirit is weak, when your body is broken. It's those positives. So protect your positives. The third thing I would share from my time in amateur boxing, have you ever heard boxers talk like behind the scenes? It's hysterical, right? They have the most delusional self-talk, right? We hear now like Delulu is the Salulu and this delusional self-talk. Boxers are crazy. I would see somebody get a beat down, like absolutely get their face handed to them, just get destroyed in the ring. And then later you'd hear the coach talking to that same boxer and be like, hey, you were robbed, you almost had them, if you just turn that left over a little bit, or hey, we need to get your legs under you. But it was never like, you suck, you shouldn't be in the ring, oh my God, you just got beat. It was always this delusional self-talk, this growth mindset, this allowance that things could get better, that, you didn't get it this time, but you could get it tomorrow. You didn't lose, you just didn't get the win. And then kind of a doubling down of the training. So it's this idea, this delusional positive self-talk that you can do this, you got this, if not today, tomorrow, and then come back to your training. This isn't pie in the sky. This is the practice. This is the work. And that's what we're doing in Practice Your Positive, is we're getting back to the reps. So delusional self-talk, but followed up with your training plan. And the last thing I want to share about amateur boxing and my mindset and all that it did for me is that, and I have it here today. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you'll have to float over to YouTube so you can see it. But I actually I'm showing my trophy that I got for losing my first bout, and it says runner up. In a two-person competition, I was the runner up. And the lesson here is that participation trophies are sometimes okay. Sometimes when the challenge is hard enough, when things are tough enough, give yourself that pat on the back, give yourself that win, celebrate that win. Even if it's a loss, if you got out there, you did it, you had that tough talk with your boss, you stopped complaining and you flipped it into something better, you increased your movement, celebrate that. Give yourself that trophy. Give yourself the props you deserve for showing up and doing the work. So life is like boxing. It is tough. And stepping into the ring, most of us, when we wait until we're facing off with something big and scary, or we're facing that opponent to really make a big change, to get serious about finding ourselves, finding our power, getting serious about owning our mindset, getting serious about being accountable and working our plan. And I'm asking you, as the final lesson from my time in amateur boxing, is to not wait until you get punched in the face to start working on these things, to start practicing your positive. I implore you now. Now is the time. Now is the time to work on these things. Don't wait till you get hit. Don't wait until life gives you an illness or a loss or some big challenge. Do it now. Self-select the challenge now. Keep that delusional self-talk. Protect your positives. Protect all the good things you already have in your life. You can do this. I love you. This is so great. Isn't this so great? I'm so proud of you. And as a bonus, I'm going to share something that's often called the boxer's creed. It's a part of a Teddy Roosevelt speech called "The Man in the Arena." I'm going to link that on Spotify and YouTube, because that's something else that maybe you can read. It's a great motivation. So that's it for today. Don't wait to get hit in the face to work on these things. How you doing? You doing good? Remember, it's more than a week. It takes more than a week to get there. So hang tough, hang with me. I will see you next episode. I love you.